there is a crisis with the young black males. There are more young black males in prison than there are in college. Homicide rates for young black males in our major cities, astronomical. It's a crisis. There's no question about it. And the images that they see, the rap singers, the basketball players, these are the images that are held up. You look at the major black media, Jet and Ebony, what's on the front every single time? Sports and entertainment. It's like, don't have anybody else. What about people like Shirley Jackson? Black female. First black female to receive a PhD from MIT. The president of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute was the first female to be chairman of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, president of the AAAS, the largest scientific organization in the world. And there are many who have accomplished intellectual things. Those people aren't talked about, so those young people don't see them. And what about the history? Anybody could take that young black boy by the hand, 6-year-old, and walk down the streets of Baltimore, and they could give him a black history lesson that would thrill his heart and make him know that his ancestors played a great role in the development of this country. They could start by pointing to his shoes and say it was Jan Matzliger, a black man, who invented the automatic shoe lasting machine, which revolutionized the shoe industry throughout the world. And you walk on that clean street and you can talk about Charles Brooks, a black man who invented the street sweeper, those machines with the big brushes, clean the streets. And down that street comes a big refrigerated tractor trailer truck. And you can tell them that it was Frederick Jones, a black man, who invented the refrigeration system for trucks, later applied for airplanes and trains. And it comes to a stop at the red light. You tell them it was Garrett Morgan, a black man, who invented the traffic signal. And while you're talking about him, you can tell how he invented the gas mask, saved lots of lives during the war. And while you're talking about the war, Henrietta Bradbury, a black woman who invented the underwater cannon and made it possible to launch torpedoes from submarines. And you'll see a beautiful black woman walking down the street. A black man did not invent her, but you can use this opportunity to talk about Madam C.J. Walker, a black woman who invented cosmetic products for women of dark complexion, was the first woman of any nationality in the United States to become a millionaire on her own efforts. And you'll walk past the hospital and you'll talk about Charles Drew and his contributions to blood banking, understanding the function of blood plasma. Daniel Hale Williams, the first successful open heart surgery in the world, had an operative mortality rate of only 1.5%, less than many cardiothoracic surgeons today. You look up at the surgical lights. Thomas Edison, you didn't know he was black, did you?
and let a rap singer put that in there.
Well, he wasn't, but his right-hand man, Lewis Latimer, was. You can tell how Lewis Latimer came up with the filament that made the light bulb work for more than 2 or 3 days, how he invented the electric lamp, incandescent lighting, diagrammed the telephone for Alexander Graham Bell, was a tremendous inventor in his own right. Hardly anybody knows who he is. He walked across the railroad tracks. Andrew Beard, the automatic railroad car coupler, spurred on the Industrial Revolution. Elijah McCoy, the automatic lubrication system for locomotive engines. In fact, he had so many inventions, something new would come out. People would say, is that a McCoy? Is that the real McCoy? You got racist people like David Duke talking about the real McCoy, don't even know who they're paying homage to. So, you know, so you can see that young man never had a reason to believe that his ancestors didn't play a big role in the development of this country, and you don't have to be a black person to give him that history lesson, because we're all in this together. But the interesting thing is, I can take that same walk down the street for virtually any nationality in this country, and I can point out tremendous contributions that were made, and that's how the United States of America became the pinnacle nation in the world, faster than any other nation has ever reached the pinnacle. There is something special about us, and that's why we're the United States. So we need to keep that in mind, and we need to make it clear to all of our young people, because when we work together, we can do virtually anything.